I'm not dead, everybody. I know some of you are hoping, but alas, that is not the case. I am, in fact, busy. Well, I was. I'm now doing this video blog. I've had my morning coffee. Don't worry, which is why I'm drinking water. I had the weirdest dreams last night. Okay, so like last night, before I go to bed, I think I watched a lot of QI and then Stephen Fry's new thing about words, and I drink some incredibly lovely wine, and I eat quite a lot of incredibly delicious chocolate, and I go to bed and I have the strangest dreams. Part of it was me and all of my roller derby friends learning how to do slalom on roller skates on a dry ski slope that I used to go on as a child. I wonder what the symbolism is. Discuss. So I want to do this video blog. It's being done in YouTube video recorded from webcam. Audio probably won't work properly. Because I've been incredibly busy. And if you may have noticed in the NZcast, I think in the last 4 weeks we've skipped, like there's been like 3 weeks where there's been no shows. That ends tomorrow. Tomorrow we are recording a show, and there are no plans to have a break until the end of the season. The reason why I've been basically completely away from the site, and why I've simply been I've been relying on the pure awesome and just general levels of competence of all of the staff. It's partly because I've been just incredibly busy, and partly some shitty things happening in real life. Not like terrible, like the kind of things where you go and then you get over it. But mostly it's because I've been really, really busy, and the busyness is sort of coming to an end now. Which means, if you remember back, my plan was work and work and work and work and work and build up savings, and then once all my work sort of reaches its natural conclusion, switch over, live off savings, and work for Nukezilla full time. Essentially, taking all my savings, investing them in Nukezilla, then paying myself with those savings. Only not quite like that, because if I did that, I'd then have to pay tax on it again, and I've already paid tax on this once. I don't even know how that would work. That would be ridiculous if I had to pay tax on that twice. Anyway, so starting the week we're going into now, this week, I'm on holiday. I haven't had a week off from things in a very long time. So I've got a little bit of work to do, and I'm just going to finish it off, get my head sorted, tidy up all the loose ends I've been up to, and then starting the week after, which I believe is the 16th, there's roller derby happening in London on the 15th. You should come. Me and my housemate are coming, and maybe Gavin if he's not working. But anyway, that's a different thing. Starting on the 17th, I'm going to be Nukezilla's first full-time employee, which is pretty fucking cool. And it'll probably take a couple of weeks because I'm basically editor-in-chief, which means that I'm not going to be writing that much, but I've got this huge list of projects, so the site will just sort of pick up again and start going. Whereas, I mean, you can sort of see what happens with me not doing my job now, because it's just like the site sort of slows down. You keep getting the quality, which is awesome, but it's sort of just slow. And now it's going to be like, whoop. I made a little list of the projects I'm going to be working on. First off, I want to move Wire.vg. It's sort of to do with Nukezilla, because right now Wire is on this old server, and I want to move it onto a different server I've got. But that's, moving something like Wire is a complete arse. Going to be doing that. Then I get to start coding Prime again. Prime is getting back on the development cycle, which is good news. I think I need to hassle Gavin actually, because he was going to be helping coding it. But yeah, so Prime is actually going to start again, which is fantastic because I'll have time. I'll have all days to work on it, which is lovely. I'm actually going to be starting to write more regularly because I can sort of plan my days. Like, hey, wake up at 10. Have coffee, read the news, get caught up. And then actually maybe write something myself. Though what I want to do more is, say some news happens to do with legal stuff, I want to be the kind of person who takes the news and then says, "Hey Dan, are you free? Do you want to write about this because this is your speciality?" Or if some like indie related things happen, I can be like, "Yo, Pete, do you want to write about this?" Or those kinds of things, so that I can sort of, because what I want is more of a Newsweek style for the site, where instead of like, here's 100 words slightly sarcastically written from me about something I don't really understand, here's a link, blah blah blah, give me some page views. Don't want that. I want like, here's 750 words that's actually kind of interesting, which you can sort of skim read, but that also just gives you like some real good quality stuff to sit there and read on that. And so that's where this kind of helps. I'm going to start trying to get more writers. We haven't had a round of hiring for a while, and I think the way I'm going to do it is have a day of training where for one day I essentially like get maybe like 5 or 6 of you guys or other people, and then maybe like have like a meeting in the morning or meetings throughout the day, and I'll be around all day, so just chatting to you on Skype and Gtalk, and then we work out the writing stuff, and then I say like, right, get this news done, and then you can go off, you do the research, you send it back, I give you editorial feedback, all within a day, so it keeps it all quite exciting, and then like what you produce then goes up on the site. So it's kind of, it's not like a, hey, come write for us, blah blah blah. It's like more of an active kind of fun event, which you are welcome to, I guess, come on this event, even if you're not actually planning on writing for the site, because it might just be kind of fun to just be like, pretend to be a video game writer for a day, and it'd be kind of fun for me, and I'll have the time to actually do something like that, and it'd be lovely. I can actually get back up to speed with reviews. Like, the site has fallen by the wayside, sadly, when it comes to reviews, but again, something I can actually pick up, and I can like chase people down and use the review system, because I'll have the time and the energy to actually do all this stuff, and that means that we get new extravaganzas again. Here was my plan. You know how last December we did the reviews, and on the first it was 1 sentence, on the second it was 2 sentences, on the third it was 3 sentences. I want to do that, but with paragraphs. And then we end up with like a 30-paragraph review. But everyone on staff who I've suggested that to has been like, no, it's not going to happen. But yeah. What else? I think that's basically it. And then just concentrating on management and all that bullshit. But something else I wanted to touch on fairly briefly is the business model. In the forum I posted, because, and I guess I can say this, a PR company was asking. Okay, so the PR company who do World of Tanks was basically asking. They're not going to advertise on us, almost certainly, but they're asking for like traffic details and what we can do. And this has started happening quite often, where ad companies want our statistics, and then they can essentially offer us some advertising. And so it got an interesting question. Like, if it was suggested to us, like, hey, do you want to skin the site for, I don't know, $500 for like a week? I don't know if that's how much we would get. That's just a pure fanciful thing. Usually big sites get multiple thousands. But anyway, it's like, I wonder what I would do. Because there's an interesting thing. The way my business model in my head works is that right now we are 100% advertising. That's our income. Although technically that doesn't actually cover all the costs, and I bankroll it. But theory is, right now we are 100% advertising. In a year's time, we will be 100% Nukezilla Prime powered. But in the middle there's this period where we're going to have Prime, and we'll probably still have adverts until Prime can pay for everything. And, I mean, depending on traffic, it might make sense to have it so Prime just gets no adverts ever. If you buy Prime once, no adverts ever again. But because most traffic websites get is someone comes in from Google, goes, oh, look at that, look at those tits, and then pisses off again. It might make sense for them to have adverts, because it's not going to impede their browsing experience, and it earns us a little bit of extra money without us selling out. Unless, of course, we get these skinning things. But, so yeah, so there's this talk of advertising stuff, and essentially I'm going to try to be open with you guys about finances, as much as ad contracts will let me, and as much as my wanting to keep my personal life personal will let me, because if I'm in charge of the website and if I'm paying myself a salary or whatnot, then I really don't want to reach the point where, like, if I'm paying myself, say, 500 quid a month, which, when you are an adult and you live in the real world, is nothing. That barely covers basic groceries and rent. Well, probably covers like rent and tax. I don't want to get like threads of people like, "Whoa, why are you getting £500? That's loads to live on." Because it's like, well, fuck off. So I mean, eventually, I can see myself getting £1,000 a month from the website, and that will probably be more than actually goes back into the website. And I don't want to get that really awkward situation where people are like, "Oh, how does he get £1,000?" It's like, yeah, but that puts me on a salary of like 12 grand, which is terrible. So, this video's gone on like 10 minutes. Whatever, nothing better to do. So I don't want to end up with those situations. However, I want to be as open, sort of, as I can, more open than most websites will be. So, I mean, right now there's not really any money, but I'd like to be able to sort of give you a breakdown, like, hey, the server costs this much, I would like to pay staff this much, I get paid this much, and, like, to buy new URLs and all of the gumph which comes with stuff, and postage and extra stuff costs this much, like, so far our ads make this much, or roughly this much, or this percentage of our income comes from this, Prime covers this, and then I don't want to say, we need these ads because, you know, it makes sense from a business perspective. I want to give you the numbers, and then you look at it and go, oh, that does make sense from a business. Like, that makes sense for us to have this ad, because then that pays for, say, our expenses to PAX or something like that. But it's really weird with this whole privacy stuff. But that kind of also ties into an idea I've had of forcing you guys to make a union, sort of. I want the staff to make a union, because eventually I'm going to be paying staff, and I don't want to be in a position where I'm like, oh, hey guys, I'm just going to cut your pay because, you know, like, well, for no good reason. I want you guys to be able to say, well, that's not fucking cool, or like, hey, we want a pay rise, we've looked over the books and we reckon you can do this. We, as a governing body, versus you as the management, because, you know, in a few years' time there might be me and like a few other people, or I might have pissed off to AOL. Kidding. And so having this like kind of union type thing of all staff writers and community members who care, I think could work really, really well, and could create an interesting friction against me doing dickhead business moves. For example, skinning the website, which almost certainly won't happen, and if it does, there's going to be a long conversation about that. So I've rabbled on for almost 15 minutes. If anyone's still watching it at this point, then I will be amazed. But it feels good to be back and doing these video blogs and just getting back to this. So, I mean, yeah, do tell me what you've been up to. Not just, like, today, but, like, for the last, you know, month or however long I've not been doing these video blogs. Because I've missed you guys. Like, I don't like the real world. Like, I don't like it when my news does not come from Nukezilla, when I have to read it on Twitter and then you get angry and it's just like, fuck off, real world. I hate you. I hate you so much. Seriously, there is no... I was thinking about this. There is no consumer-friendly reason for exclusive reviews. There's just none. It's only to the advantage of the publisher or to the advantage of the publication. There's no actual consumer-friendly reasons. So any games PR company that's like, oh, hey, we love our consumers, they're our number one, also here's an exclusive review, fuck you. Anyway, quarter of an hour. I best go. I'm quite pleased that I've managed to get this far through my video blog. But, yes, that's everything I'm going to talk about. Do feel free to leave comments and questions and concerns. Nothing is set in stone, and I am very, very open to comments and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, as I say, if you ask questions such as, what is your CPM for your ads? I signed a contract which specifically says you are not allowed to talk about that. And it's like, So I can't really tell you. I can tell you that ads make us practically no money at the minute because our traffic is really low. But anyway, I'm going to go. I'm going to post this video, and then I'm going to go to some